Want to have healthy, balanced, high-protein, chef-cooked food delivered to your door? Oh, you mean Lions Prep? Our sponsor for this episode, Lions Prep, are the UK's highest-rated halal meal plan service. They freshly prepare meals, by the way, by a chef. They freshly prepare meals that are ready in just 3 minutes in the microwave, all delivered right to your door every Sunday and Wednesday. Choose from a selection of chef-cooked dishes from just £4 per meal from a delicious weekly changing menu. All Lions Prep meals, from breakfast to lunch to dinner, are all nutritionally balanced and portion controlled, making it easy to stay healthy without any hassle. Hey, no hassle. So when I was in school, a lot of people would pronounce my name as Faisal. To be fair, people in my family still do. So I was gonna say, no hassle with Faisal, but let's keep it moving. Try Lions Prep today with an exclusive discount for new customers. That's 30% off week 1, 15% off weeks 2, 15% off weeks 2 and 3, and an extra 15% off week 4. Just enter the promo code FG23 or hit the link in the description. Meal prepping has been one of the best decisions I've ever made, especially in the UK, as it's not easy to get halal meal prep services as readily. I would say I've loved every meal, but whenever the delivery comes, my wife has stolen some meals from me before I can even taste them. So you might want to hide the meals in the fridge. And also, by the way, the boys at the office loved them as well, because I've got them to try them on week 1. So this has been a hit all around. Okay, so if you're trying to stay healthy, if you've got a busy lifestyle, if you want to have ultimate convenience, great taste, high protein, low carb, you can go to the website, check it out, lionsprep.co.uk, that's lionsprep.co.uk, and use the code FG23 at checkout for that huge discount of 30% for your first week, and then 15% for the next few weeks. And remember, if you're away, you can skip any deliveries easily online or via their brand new app. Check it out, Lions Prep. Let's get into the episode.
Learning Arabic sentence by sentence. Assalamu alaikum, Mr. Andalusi. How are you doing?
Alhamdulillah, good.
How's things, man?
Good, man. What, 2 years, 3 years?
2 years, it must have been, yeah.
MashaAllah.
Alhamdulillah, you look younger, in fact.
You think so?
Yeah, you're looking great. Just the microphone has to be way closer to you, otherwise it's going to be tough. Yeah.
Like
there
this?
Yeah. And in terms of, I think you might need to lean forward. We're down and out here, man. We've got one angle, so you're much closer. There we are.
There you go. Like
apologies. I'm going to make you uncomfortable for an hour. Yeah, it's been like 2 or 3 years. How you been?
Alhamdulillah, man. It's been real.
Yeah?
It's been a lot going on. Yeah.
So last time we spoke, you were talking to me about the whole Amazon FBA and some online courses stuff.
Yeah.
At the time, a few years back now, that was it definitely wasn't new, but it was definitely new. It's like even though there were you saw a good few people doing it, it wasn't as accessible or as widespread as it is now. So you were probably one of the pioneers in that game, and at that time when you were pioneering that game, it had maybe even a bit of a bad reputation, that game in general, FBA, online courses and stuff like that. Now that it's become widespread, and essentially people have been able to see that if they can provide value, they can monetize that value really well and be able to have freedom in their lives and stuff like that. I think it's definitely got a better rep now. But first of all, congratulations to you for being a pioneer in that game, because I think I always tell people that the goal with any kind of brand is to it's not to be first, but if you are first, it makes things so much easier.
Right,
and so I think because you were one of the early guys in that kind of space, I feel like you were able to benefit more than if somebody comes in now and tries to kind of really make it in that space. They have to work I would say maybe they'd have to they're up against it a bit now. There's a bit more friction.
Yeah.
They have to you have to
oversaturate
really
it a little bit.
A tiny bit. Yeah. You just have to make sure that you're definitely providing the most value in your industry.
Yeah.
Not to say that you weren't providing that value, but I think now it maybe is a bit more difficult. Would you agree with that? Would you say you were one of the pioneers in that kind of space?
I wouldn't say I was a pioneer. I guess in our niche of, Muslims, I guess, whatever you do pops up, or there's a Muslim doing this, but because people don't look outside of the box, I've seen that a lot of Muslims don't look outside of the box in terms of, now if Muhammad Andalusi is talking about Amazon FBA, so that's Amazon FBA is the new thing. But the reality is I was following, people who are not Muslim for probably 2 years before that, and before you get into a niche as well, into a field or interested about something, you think that thing doesn't exist, and once you're in, you're like, everyone is doing it, but and then you start seeing ads, and then everybody's doing it. You start seeing YouTube recommendations, and you have that impression that everything around you is that thing. But you know, I don't think I was Amazon FBA itself. Aslan is fulfillment by Amazon. It's basically doing private labeling, which is a very old business model, using Amazon. So people were doing it for, you know, decades before that. They were just not using
Amazon as a service.
As a service to fulfill their orders and stuff.
Well, I think at the time you still had Andalusi Institute, right?
No, actually, the story is that, so at 17, I got kicked out of Egypt, as we spoke. And as we mentioned in the previous podcast.
It's worth doing a recap for, there's been a lot of change. I think then we were a much smaller podcast.
Well, you want a little summary again?
I think let's do a little elevator kind of reminder of the whole kind of story. Cause I think
wow, the story is very long. People, they tend to say, oh, we ask you a question, you go for hours talking about it. But
on a podcast, that's like the goal. So.
I'll try and summarize it. So I went to Egypt. My whole personality today, I think, a big reason and a big cause that affected me to be how I am today. This, I guess I would describe myself as a young Muslim who is very interested about Islamic sciences, about learning in general, about seeking knowledge, who was struggling to do so because of lack of funds, and then got interested in business to fund his studies. So that's who I would describe myself to be. And what happened is that when I was 18, I went to Egypt. I stood there for about 6 years. And throughout those years, those years are such an important stage of a man's life, first of all. So I've learned a lot. At that time I was married, I had kids, and I've learned a lot from different aspects of life. Like, I've been poor, I've had a lot of money, I've been, locked up in the prisons of Egypt because of no reason, like just, you have a European passport, you look like these guys over there who are acting crazy, so we don't know who you are, so we're just gonna kick you out and let your country figure out if you deserve, freedom or not. So that's pretty much what happened. When I was 18, I went to Egypt, stood there for 6 years. In Egypt, I was like, let me just hold a little bit on. I don't have no degree. I dropped out of school at 16. I don't know how to make money. I'm not making money. I don't have an income. I just do one thing here, one thing there. But let me finish my studies to start trying to figure out how to make money seriously. So when I got kicked out, I was like, okay, whatever. Now I guess I will really have to get to business. So that's when I kept on going with food delivery. I was working for Uber Eats and Deliveroo at the same time. I had 2 phones on my wrist, and I was going crazy. 80 hours a week. I was making like £4,000 a month.
I remember you saying.
So I was going crazy, and at the same time, while I was delivering, the whole day I was outside in the streets of London. So I used to listen a lot to YouTubers. I would purchase courses. I would, I was just listening I was consuming a lot of content. So that's when I started. I started with Amazon FBA. A brother invested with me. I was the guy behind the screen. Then I tried affiliate marketing. Then I tried building my personal brand.
But I feel like building the personal brand worked.
Yeah,
or at least now, where it's at now.
Yeah, and that was because of my mentors. They were like, I'm doing this, but look at my personal brand. I remember I went to Iman Gaji when he was, I don't know if you heard of him.
Yeah.
Iman Gaji, when he wasn't this big figure right now. And I think it was the second mastermind he had in his house. I paid $4,000 at that time. And that was literally like, I remember I had to pay in installments. And so anyways, I went to his house and he showed me, I remember it was the 6th of May, and he had made $25,000. He showed me his Teachable account and whatnot. And those moments is the moments that I was like,
it's possible.
It's possible. And it's like, dang, he's making this out of, at that time he had a a course called Ignited, which was how to build your personal brand. So I realized that all these guys, the most money that they were generating was from their personal brands. So in 2016, when I was in Egypt, I already had learned Arabic, and I remember I went to a brother's house, and he was a graphic designer, and he had a very nice setup in his house in Alexandria. Now keep in mind, I was in Alexandria. That was the first year, so that was probably in 2011 or 2012. And I asked him, "Oh, what do you do?" Like, "Oh, this looks nice," because you're in Egypt, you're around students. Everybody has a mattress on the floor, and they leave however they can. But that brother had a very nice setup in the house. So I asked him, "What do you do?" and so on. He said, "Yeah, I work from home. I'm a graphic designer and so on." I was like, "Oh, wow, you work from home? Like you never?" He said, "Yeah, I've been here in Egypt for 6 years. I never went back to the US." I was like, "Wow." So these type of moments were crucial for me. And since 2012, I had in my mind, work from home, make money online, work from home, work from home. So in 2016, I started teaching brothers online Arabic. But at that time, I didn't know anything about business. I didn't know how to run a business. I didn't know how to sell, how to market, how to develop anything. I didn't have no business experience whatsoever. Not whatsoever, but I didn't have any online business experience. But I knew it was possible. So it was always in the back of my mind. And this type of masterminds, after I got kicked out of Egypt, is what unlocked that beast in me, I guess. And I went all in. I was like, "Nah, this is possible, man. I ain't doing nothing else." That's when I sent my family back to their parents, and I said, "Just give me 1 year, and I'm gonna go crazy." So that's what I did. And within that year is when I figured out, like.
So you're just by yourself?
Yeah, by myself. I remember doing like 5 a.m. I was up. I was applying all these business tactics and tips that all the gurus talk about, discipline and, meditation. And I was working out after those 16-hour days. And I was doing the whole, deep work mode and binaural beats in my ears. And I was literally, I wish I can go back to that zeal that I had there. Because I was literally...
How old were you then?
I was... that was 4 years ago, so I was, like 25, 26. Yeah.
You're only 29?
I'm 29, yeah.
We're the same age?
Yeah. I'm turning 30 the 31st of this month, though.
Inshallah. Inshallah. Wow.
Oh, yeah, man. That was the short story.
So how's Andalusi Institute going? So when we last spoke, you didn't have that then?
Yeah, I didn't have that. So it's within that year that reading all those books that I read and so on, I realized, wait a minute, I have a skill, which is Arabic.
Yeah.
And then I already had tried in a very short period of time, but I had tried already affiliate marketing. I had tried social media marketing. I had tried Amazon FBA. I had tried even ACN, multi-level marketing. I had tried, all of these different, and even a small personal brand. Mr. Halal Money was a small personal brand.
That's it, Mr. Halal Money. I was trying to remember where I was trying to get my
yeah. So Mr. Halal Money was that as well. Was part of the.
It seems like what you did is you looked in within and you thought, okay, there's all of these different ways of making money. What do they say? There's like 100 ways to skin a cat, right? Or 1,000 ways, or whatever they say. But you have to look at where is it that I provide, what is the value that I can provide and that I have, what's the skill that I have. And so I think in all of that searching and trying those different methods, you came to the conclusion that, there's this one thing that I have, which can provide so much value, it gives so much value to others. And then you execute, and I think you're doing an amazing job on it. And then obviously with the Instagram page, Andalusi Gems.
Yeah, that's all him.
It. Oh, really? You smashed it, bro. MashaAllah. Yeah. That's Amir behind the screen.
Yeah.
Amir or Amir? Amir behind the screen. Doing an amazing job on that. So first, what is it like running loads of different pages? Because I always have been on the mindset that you should run one page, but sometimes I have so I'm about to release an ebook on this newsletter model that's becoming more and more popular. Like Morning Brew, Hustle, those kind of things. Yeah. It's become a lot more accessible for anyone to basically start this as a one-man business. I just finished it.
What newsletters?
Yeah, newsletters.
Right.
Yeah, I literally same thing as you. So my family in the UK, I went to drop them. I said I'm coming back to Dubai. I can't stay in the UK all summer. So they're in the UK, wife, children. I'm here by myself, and one of the things I wanted to do, as well as just all of my different work that I do, Freshly Grounded, Tortil, and so on and so forth, I thought I want to like have this one side thing that I'd spend my evenings, my weekends, or whatever doing. And so I just finished writing. It's like just over 15,000 word ebook. Basically, takes you from the A to Z on how to like monetize a email newsletter.
Yeah, I think I saw it from.
Maybe like
I'm
one of my
signed
clips
up
or
into
something.
your Freshly
Oh,
Grounded
you are?
newsletter.
Oh, amazing. Alhamdulillah.
So I open it from time to time, and I think a few weeks back I saw that you was
working on something.
that
Maybe
you was talking on how to monetize your newsletter.
Yeah. But when I look at something like my following, which I'm like inconsistent with, it's like a general group of individuals who may be interested in like me or the work that I'm doing, but they're not necessarily warm to like the specific niche of like running a newsletter, right? And so one of the thoughts that went in my head is like, should I create a separate account specifically for that thing, which is kind of like what you've done with Andalusi Gems, and you guys have done really well. I've not seen many people execute it that well though. So how is that, running numerous different pages?
Well, for me, to be honest with you, I don't do anything. Like,
okay, so that page.
They tell me, yo, we need videos. I'm like, okay, then every sentence by sentence. How do you say? Those sentences are literally so simple.
Yeah.
That I can literally record 20 in literally 10 minutes and just send it to the team. And there is about 4 or 5 editors.
So how many are you putting on in a day? One a day.
One a day. Yeah.
Okay. So that was your strategy that you came up with?
Yeah, I started that from zero, man. Absolutely zero. I have experience growing accounts, but that's probably my most successful experiment.
Okay.
Just when we started, the niche, it was very unsaturated. Like,
We can't, by the way, the audience can't hear you, and you're spitting some valuable bars. You do have a mic behind you, but it's not wired
Just
up.
come here,
So
man.
no, let me wire you up on a mic. It makes sense. Give me a second.
I can stay here in the shadow, but you can hear me.
Yeah. Let's wire you out, guys. Give us a sec. Right, we're cooking with gas. All right, so Amir, you're gonna have to repeat yourself. So Amir runs Andalusi Gems, or your team runs Andalusi Gems essentially. But it was your idea?
So I run Andalusi Gems, and we started it from absolute scratch. So when we first started, we kind of had, I met Ustad. There's a little backstory, but I met Ustad. I messaged him through DM, and cut the long story short, we got started. For the first month, we were just pushing out clips, like just clips of YouTube videos, gems here and there, and then after a month, we had decent results. We decided to, let's do Arabic, let's do Arabic sentences. And from there, we just got started. And I did all the design, the making the videos, and, just all the comments, just running the whole page, building the whole page, engaging, everything kind of thing. But
You said you ran a few pages before.
yeah, so I have experience running pages just growing up. Like
Fine.
it's
Leave it at that.
just like gaming pages and stuff when I was younger. Maybe one day we could get into this. For now, I'm in the shadows.
Fine.
There was an important lesson that we learned from that, is that in the beginning when we were throwing those clips, I think for the past 3-4 years, and in general I have this, which is, I don't know if you ever saw it, but I had Arabic expressions on my Instagram.
Yes.
Those are things I enjoy.
Yeah.
And searching and reading, I benefit myself. But the little clips that we were sending in the beginning were of things that I am interested about, but we just had to listen to the numbers and the analytics. We seen that, okay, yeah, when I post how to say my name is in Arabic, it blows up 2 million views.
Yeah.
So why would I be talking about how you can increase your discipline and achieve peak performance when people literally don't even care?
They just want the Arabic sentence, yeah.
So yeah, we realized that people want simple stuff that, to be honest with you, you will not learn the language following that page. But for some reason, that's how the audiences work, and people like this. So we just say, okay, look, this is working. We have a master sheet that we track all the views that we got across all pages at the end of the month, and we check which performed better, and we analyze what was different about this video so we can make more of those. And we realized that the educational how-tos how-to type of videos. Those were the ones that people liked the most. So we just went crazy with it, and all the accounts now we said, okay, everybody does this. I will send you clips. Everybody edits.
All the editors just working on this.
Yeah.
Wow, that's incredible. It works as a great funnel. I think what works perfect about that page is like a few different things. First of all, is a perfect like top of funnel thing. As soon as people are getting value instantly from it, and then when people do eventually think, well, I want to learn Arabic properly now, they're going to go to the person that they trust, which is the clips that they've been watching, and then they funnel straight into your institute.
Yeah.
And then secondly, I like the perfection in it is the clarity. I was mentioning in last week's podcast to the brother that when like a kind of good sign of a great brand or a great personal brand is if you can explain it very clearly within a minute, within a sentence. And Chris Doe, who you'll know, personal branding expert, when he does his personal branding seminars, he goes even further and he basically teaches people how to explain what they do in 2 words. So his thing is, if you can explain what you do in 2 words, that's when you know you've got a good personal brand. And I think that's what you guys can do, is it's complete clarity. And so the repetition of Arabic sentence, what was it again?
Learning Arabic sentence by sentence.
Yeah, learning Arabic sentence by sentence instantly gets you like hooked in. You're not learning a word, which loads of people do. You're learning a whole sentence. It's practical. You feel like you can use it. So man, I think you've smashed it with that, man.
Yeah.
Cool, man. And then that funnels into Andalusi Institute. You said you had a big team. So how's your team being funded? Is it being funded by the institute?
Yeah, no doubt.
That's the main like source of income for the company. The institute.
Yeah.
Okay, nice.
Yeah, we are about 17 members now and different contractors and agencies. So 17 full-time, staff.
Wow.
And then different agencies and contractors.
And the institute is it pre-recorded videos or is it like what's the kind of, what do people get, what's the value people get out of it?
Yeah, so it's a mix of the goal of the institute is to teach you how to be an independent student. Because at the end of the day, I remember last time in the podcast I mentioned it, which a brother when I was in Birmingham approached me about it and how can you say this and whatnot. So I will say it again. My goal is always to achieve ijtihad, and it's a great goal for a student of knowledge to want to achieve that. And there's a lot of skills that you will need to reach there, and a lot of these skills are related to you knowing how to do things independently.
Sure.
How to search on the dictionary, how to search in a fiqh book, how to determine if a hadith is sahih or not. So that's the goal of Andalusi Institute, which is to teach you how to independently learn the Arabic language. Of course, in the beginning, we help you learn the Arabic language. At the end of the program, you independently know how to keep on developing your Arabic arsenal and your Arabic vocabulary. So it's a mix of self-study. The goal is self-study, but it's a mix of live sessions and pre-recorded lessons. So what is not required for the student to have a teacher there live is live. It's pre-recorded lessons. And what is required for the student, like pronunciation and sentence, the form, how sentences are formed, if it's correct, if the student said it correctly or not. Those moments is when you need someone who is listening to you live. So those are the moments that we have live sessions in the weekend. We have one-on-one sessions. So yeah, those are that's the goal basically, to do a mix of both. Pre-recorded lessons, and once you're done with these pre-recorded lessons, come live and we tell you if you actually understood or not.
As someone who's been able to build a brand or numerous brands and then monetize them, how do you of what I've noticed about people like this is that they constantly want to do it more. So how are you able to like constantly scratch that itch of like building something else, that you must get that kind of thing of just like wanting to build because it's so fun and it's so addictive. So where do you channel that energy, or do you just like tame the beast?
It is a disease, yeah. It's my disease. Like, I should start doing this. Just a few days ago we were talking about, bro, we need to do. And I was like, we're thinking of opening a podcast, which we will soon. And we were talking about the topic. And we need to talk about how students need to make money. And I was like, man, this is just distraction, Arabic. So it's something that not all entrepreneurs, I think some entrepreneurs are more on the creative side, some others on the building side. Me, I'm more of a builder. So I do suppress that urge of wanting to start and investing in other things and things like that. I'm not going to lie, I committed the sin this year and I invested into a new brand.
Okay.
And my goal with that brand is to build it and make it as successful as Andalusi Institute without nobody knowing that I'm behind of it. And a lot of people I know in our niche know of that brand.
And they don't know it's you. That's the true test, isn't it?
Yeah, that's something that I would like to challenge myself with. And at the same time, I will have, family members, help me and so on to create jobs and whatnot. That's something that really gives me fulfillment as well, which is, creating jobs and seeing people benefit from working next to me. I live by there's a quote by one of our modern poets. His name is Jay-Z. He said, "You're not a boss, you got a boss. Here we measure success by how many people successful next to you. Here we say you broke if everybody's broke except for you." So that's one of my goals, to make sure that I build a ecosystem around me where everybody is happy and grateful to work next to me, and that they benefit from many different aspects in their life, not just financially. So because of that as well, that was one of the excuses. I said, okay, let me just invest and we're just gonna grow it, and I will hire all my family members and so on to run it. So yeah, but that is a disease that I think a lot of entrepreneurs go through it at one point in their business journey.
If there's people listening to this podcast who are at the point that you are at, when they're thinking, well, I have a certain goal, but to achieve that goal, ideally I have financial independence, and the idea of like grafting away in like a retail job or Deliveroo and stuff like that is just like not something that they want to do. How would they go through the process? Where do they start? And what's kind of the A to Z of getting to the point where then you can like essentially live that financially free life? I know you used to speak about that a bit more with Mr. Halal Money, so I'm going to need you to kind of bring Mr. Halal Money back for a minute, take him out of the retirement for a second. But what would that advice be?
Yeah, I mean, I feel like I've always been Mr. Halal Money, and I think behind all these Andalusi gems in Arabic, I'm always talking about. I mean, otherwise Andalusi Institute wouldn't live, because all of those principles are there. And at one point, one of my goals is to, anyways, I'm not going to say it because it's going to create competition, and I know a lot of people got an eye on me. But yeah, for people like that, a lot of people don't understand that, I don't have money to start. It's like, it's not about money, it's about building your skills. You have to learn the skill. I would say, I would narrow it down to sales and marketing. If you know how to sell and how to market, and you understand persuasion, you understand how people buy through emotions, they justify through logic, and you learn the art of sales and whatnot, I don't think, except if Allah doesn't want it for you, that you would ever be hungry. That's one of the things that my children, especially my sons, is going to be Arabic Quran knowledge in general, but Arabic Quran, a specific focus on that, and then sales and marketing.
Sales.
Literally. Arabic Quran and learn how to sell. And I think anybody, if they were to get a job, I would search to be a sales guy.
Sure.
Some type of, somehow, you just gotta learn how to sell, because you learn a lot. You learn about human behavior, you learn about emotional intelligence, you learn about empathy, you learn about how to listen to people, how to just be a better human being, literally, which are concepts that you will find these concepts in our deen. But sometimes I see this phenomenon happening, which is our deen have a lot of concepts and principles, and sometimes you don't see them until you read this self-development book that emphasizes in these concepts in a very, in a very separate way. Like, for example, the art of listening to people, very specific. And then it's like, okay, the Prophet ﷺ is known that he would turn his whole body towards the person that's talking to him.
Isn't it a shame though that sometimes it takes for us to see something somewhat? Because that happens to me. Like sometimes I'll see something and I'll go. It happened to me the other day where I was looking at. We were talking about Alex Huberman and what he was saying about sleep and the sleep cycle and adenosine and all these different things, right?
Mm-hmm.
And he was saying that, you know, one of the the best ways to start your day in order to set your circadian rhythm is to see the sun rising without any barrier. You're outside and you can relate it to waking up, and he said you should actually be awake just before sunrise. You can relate this to waking up at Fajr, going outside, walking to Fajr, that light that you're seeing naturally. And it's a shame though, I feel, that sometimes it takes that to go, oh, like that's prescribed in and I guess a shame is the wrong word. Maybe it's like it makes you grateful that Allah has already prescribed these things. It's like, if I just follow the Sunnah, if I just follow Islam wholly, then I don't even need necessarily to be affirmed by these self-help books and stuff like that, because I already had the answer. And so when you see someone as like high up in the world of cognitive, I think it's cognitive science that Alex Huberman is, say something like that, it just it makes you feel grateful for the fact that we already have this perfect way of life, which is Islam.
And it happens a lot. And I think there was a statement that
is it Alex Huberman or Andrew Huberman? It's Andrew Huberman, right?
I don't even know who you're talking about.
This is guy named Andrew Huberman, I think. Who's bro? You would have seen this guy for sure.
Yeah, probably if you show it to me.
That guy on there. Right.
Oh yeah. So yeah.
And Dr. Andrew Huberman
speaks about sleep and sleep cycles.
But he speaks all about
peak performance,
cognition, basically, like neuroscience. Yeah.
There was a statement that they attributed to Shaykh Al-Albani rahimahullah that says azhadu nasi fil alim ahluhu, that the people who are the less interested about the scholar is his own family, meaning that, you know, somebody will have a whole scholar in his house that keep on having calls and people asking him for fatwa, and he has students waiting outside of his door, and full scholar that is, you know, capable of giving fatwa and have a lot of knowledge. His family wouldn't even care about him. And they would ask a question about deen or something, they will maybe go somewhere else. So it happens that Muslims, we have all this deen, but for some reason you are so numb to it, you don't see the value of it, that you tend to look outside, which is basically looking, you know, seeking where the grass is greener instead of watering the grass that you have, however the statement goes. The grass is not
at this point you butchered it, but we get it.
Yeah, the grass is not greener on the other side, but it's greener where you water it. And I saw this in Mecca as well. I remember in 2015, I was walking outside of Al-Qura University. I just gave my papers to the director there, or the Amid, the guy there that takes the papers for the students. And there was a Saudi. He saw me walking outside. He said, "Get in. I'll take you whatever you staying at." And I was talking to him. He was like 21 years old. And I said, "Well, subhanAllah, you must do Umrah like every week or something, right?" He was like, no, I've never been to Umrah.
No.
Like, basically, he's never been in the Haram. And he lives in Mecca. So you tend to, and it happens with a lot of things, like, you know, you want to marry this woman, now you married her, and you just become numb, you're looking elsewhere.
Yeah.
So it happens with a lot of things, and that's why, subhanAllah, which
mankind
is in the deen as well.
Ungrateful, right?
Yeah, if you give Ibn Adam one full mountain of gold, he will ask for another one. And Ibn Abbas, rahimahullah, which is something we talk about as well in the introduction of Andalusi Institute, he mentioned that 1 hour of tafakkur, of, you know, just reflection, sitting down and reflecting where you are at in your life and so on, is better than a full night of Qiyam al-Layl. Because if you leave how many of us leave, You go sleep, wake up, work, boom, you get home, you tired, go sleep, wake up. Boom. You never have time to even reflect on where I'm at, what is my goals, am I doing the tasks that lead to my goals? You know, you go being Jannah, am I being working at peak performance? Am I being the best version of myself? If you don't sit down, reflect, and I once heard Sam Ovens, shout out to him, man.
Who?
He helped me a lot. Sam Ovens.
Okay, I don't know who that is.
Yeah, the founder of school.com. He said sometimes you're too close from the picture that you see it blurry, so you have to step back and look at the picture. Okay, where I'm at, which is basically an analogy to say that if you are living your life in this cycle of like go and sleep, wake up, you don't even have time to think, you don't have time for yourself, you tend to not see if you are doing the tasks that are going to lead you where you want to be at. Yeah. So reflection is so important. And again, you see scholars talking about this. And all of these concepts, subhanAllah, I've seen them in the deen. I've seen scholars talking about it. All of these concepts. Even something that I was thinking to share with you is, which I think a lot of people would be surprised, in Ibn al-Jawzi, in Sayd al-Khatir, the book of Captured Thoughts, I think is translated in English. Ibn al-Jawzi talks about how the book essentially is thoughts that Ibn al-Jawzi would have, and he would just write them down. And he was talking about, the chapter is called Al-Alim Alladhi Yatakassab Yasunu Irdahu. The scholar that seeks risk, that makes money, he preserves his honor. So he talks about a situation where he was with he went to a gathering where there was rich people of authority, high value men, and there were scholars as well there, like Islamic scholars. And he said that he was looking at the situation, and he saw the scholars humble themselves to rich people, and he saw rich people basically not humbling themselves to scholars. So he said he saw an aib, he saw a deficiency of understanding and lack of use of their intellect in both sides. The scholars that have Islamic knowledge, they humbling themselves in front of somebody that basically has money, which is not what is the most valuable thing. They are the ones that have the most valuable thing. And then the ones that had money and authority, they weren't humbling themselves in front of people who have knowledge, who have the most valuable thing. So he said that based on this situation, he decided and he realized that, and he said it in his own words, he said, فَعَلَى الْعَالِمِ أن يبالغ في الكسب. أن يبالغ. He didn't say أن يتكسب. أن يبالغ في الكسب. He should exaggerate in how much money he seeks, how much money he makes. حتى وإن ضاع بذلك كثير من وقته لطلب العلم. Even if he wastes a lot of time doing so, and he doesn't have time to seek knowledge. This is a full scholar that's saying this. And he said the reason why is because when you have money, when you are financially independent, you don't have to ask for nothing. And that's one of the most valuable things a man can have, especially a man that has knowledge. Scholars that, if you look at known speakers in our niche, known Islamic speakers, those that are the most known and have the most followers, if you look at their personal life and you know them personally, most of the times they fund their own trips. They go wherever they want. Nobody is telling them, no, you can't talk about this, you can't talk about that. So it's a very valuable thing. And this is why I'm very passionate about making money. And a lot of people always say, oh, Muhammad Andalusi is always talking about money. Oh, he wants to make money off this, off that. So I'm very passionate about it. And I think all students of knowledge need to learn sales and marketing, man. This is what I'm telling you, my sons. Quran, Arabic, sales and marketing. That's all you're learning, boy. No university, no nothing.
No, it's true, because you see that I can definitely understand the point of like having honor. We were speaking on last week's podcast again about there being a thin line between having arrogance and having honor. And arrogance is something that there's absolutely zero leeway within Islam. You cannot be arrogant. But then having honor is something that's such a high status in Islam, and the line between them sometimes is so thin, because a person who has izzah can sometimes can have similar characteristics to somebody who has arrogance. But there's a big difference in the two, and one is very honorable and one is very low to have. But so I was talking about how we were talking last week about how one ensures that they can have that honor and not have arrogance. And I think like you just mentioned it, which is the perfect combination of having knowledge and having and not being dependent on people financially. And so when you don't have to ask people for something and you have knowledge, what better partnership
Power,
to have,
man.
right? Yeah.
So powerful. And I would say in general, Muslim, yes, shouldn't be arrogant in general, except in certain situations. For example, in war, in da'wah, sometimes if the other person is from al-Zalimin, from those type of people, sometimes the Muslim needs to walk outside and people looking at him like, yo, why is this guy, like, is either people saying, why is this guy arrogant, or people will respect you because you walk with your head up.
No, but I suppose respect comes also from having a haiba, right? And if you're living your life in an honorable and moral way, you would breed respect in that sense. Like, because we see, if you look at the Sunnah again, how the Prophet ﷺ would walk and stand and stuff like this. Like a person who is walking like he's always got somewhere to go, that's a respectful thing. It's like, this guy's never just like, he's never just about, you know? So I think...
maybe not arrogancy, but I'm saying...
But I get what you're saying, like with regards to the da'wah thing and stuff like that, I can definitely understand that.
You know, sometimes people, they tend to think that the Muslim is, he'll get slapped and he will give the other cheek and... Yeah, like, no, I'm walking outside. If I'm walking, you know, if I'm walking in a group that I know they hate me... I won't walk with my head down. I'll walk like...
of course.
I wish you would. That's how... And that could come across arrogant, but that's the type of energy that they want.
That you need,
I think it's a hard balance to have, you know?
So have you been back to Spain much? You were born in Spain?
I was born in Spain, Barcelona, last time.
Have you... When you came to the office last time, was there a guy called Kareem working there? I don't think so.
Where?
At the freshly grounded office.
I can't remember.
I don't think so.
Remember you?
No, you would remember.
You came by yourself.
Because Kareem from Barcelona, Muslim.
Oh, is it?
Yeah, like looks very similar to you in a sense. Like you guys got a very similar beard. Spanish.
No, you was by yourself then.
Yeah.
But I haven't been actually before I moved here. I was in Spain, so I think that's the last time I've been there.
Kareem was here, man, like 2 weeks ago. I should have, if I knew you were here, it would have been lovely to intro you guys. But I'm going to intro you guys, inshallah. Alhamdulillah. Bro, thank you so much, man, for jumping on the podcast. It's always amazing having you on. Like, out here now, our episodes tend to be shorter because our equipment doesn't last as long in the heat, and like it's hot AC and stuff. So it's like people can be like, you guys used to like 3.5 hour long episodes. Now it's like 40 minutes now. Man, I can't hack it anymore. I'm getting older. So, but bro, it's always so inspiring meeting you, learning about the things that you're doing. I think like for sure, man, like more people should be focused on living a life of being able to make money from home. Especially because then it allows you it kind of unlocks that lifestyle where you can seek knowledge, or you can you're not restricted from going to the masjid and things like that. So literally. Big respect, man. And I think last time you were on the podcast, like people loved it. Like there's so many little clips of it that went viral, and I think this time it'll be the same in the sense that you seem to have this pull where people are very inspired by you. I think part of it is that you walk the walk as well as talk and talk, but I think Allahumma barik, you got a lot of confidence and you exude. You're exuberant with your nature, so. Alhamdulillah.
Just trying to inspire. Literally, I just think that a lot of things that I have accomplished bifadlillah and biqudratihi, which I never asked for. I generally never asked for. I don't know. Even today in Jummah, I was sitting down, I was thinking, the Imam was talking about how silatul rahim increases al-umr and increases your lifespan and increases your risk. And he got me thinking, like, what did I do for certain things that I have in my life? Is it a punishment, or is it Allah blessing me? So, I'm just trying to inspire Muslims to generally, and I do that all the time with everybody that comes in under this institute. They come across, they have to leave with more. So yeah, may Allah give us sincerity, man,
Ameen.
and forgive us what they don't know and make us better than what they think we are.
I mean, we can't end this podcast without you giving us an Arabic sentence for the sake of this, and then you should be able to use this one for. I want to see you use this one for Andalusi gems. So let's go for an Arabic. Yeah, let's do a live Arabic sentence.
Every sentence I sent. You got the camera too, right?
Yeah, we have to do one before we log off the
What should we do
podcast.
it about?
You guys must have done so many sentences now that you must have repeated some. What's been your most popular one? Really basic one, I think, right? Like you said.
There's 3 most popular. One hit 2 million.
Really?
How are you? Yeah.
Wow.
I'm still looking.
That's the same camera, right? A6600. Or it's very similar.
Might be, yeah.
Yeah, it's 6,400.
Oh, okay, fine. Looks very similar. You don't have to hold the mic anymore. It's fine. Yeah.
What
Alright,
should we do
so
it about? Yeah, we're gonna do طال الوقت بيننا.
it must be about. It has to be maybe about something that's relevant here. Like for example, being.
طال الوقت بيننا, which means it's been a long time. It literally, if you literally translate it, it means there's been a long time in between us, and is a lesson to be learned, which is that in Arabic, literal translation will always sound weird.
Right.
طال الوقت بيننا, the time's been long in between us. You can understand it, but
Yeah.
it sounds like caveman speech, right?
Yeah, it sounds very poetic, to be honest.
Yeah. Yeah, and I think that's turn it on, you said? And I think that's one thing about Arabic is that's why Shaykh al-Islam Ibn Taymiyyah he said that it increases your intellect because of the expressions that comes with Arabic. It increases your akhlaq, your manners. And even Ibn Shabrama, rahimahullah, one of the companions, he said, Zaynun al-rijal al-nahu, that the beauty of men is nahu, is grammar, meaning being able to express himself nicely and not speaking no ammiya, which is like ghetto speech, and you know. And then the second part of the hadith is wazayn an-nisa al-shaham, and the beauty of woman is fat. Which is,
What does
very
that mean?
interesting
What
as
does
well.
that mean?
Meaning like women who are skinny might not be, on average, according to him, Ibn Sharama, is still his opinion, might not be the most beautiful thing. Yeah.
I heard that something like back in the days, a sign of a good, a sign of like a good sign was like if people saw you and the man would be skinny and the woman would be like not, because then that means that the man's working hard and that he's earning good money, so he's able to feed his family. Is that true? I remember hearing something like that.
Of aqwal like this. Even in Egypt, for some reason, they tend to like men to have a belly.
They do like men to have belly.
Yeah.
Well, because it shows that they're eating.
They have these like pre-assumed beliefs about if somebody looks like this, then he must be like this, or he must make money, or whatever he might be. So yeah.
You got your sentence?
Yeah, you got the sentence.
I have one. You got anything in mind? How to say something in English? Something relevant. What do you think of?
Something to do with visiting. I think that's good, like seeing someone after a long time because we haven't seen each other in a long time. Or, yeah.
I'm visiting a friend.
Learn Arabic sentence by sentence. How do you say in the Arabic language, or how do you greet basically in the Arabic language? Is a very controversial situation and controversial conversation amongst Arabic learners, which is when somebody just says salam. They say, oh, akhi, you got to give me the full greeting. So they say, you have to say salam alaikum. And then I say alaikum salam. But it's not always like that. In the Quran, Allah Azza wa Jal, when He talks about Ibrahim and when he got the 2 visitors, the 2 angels that came to see him, Allah says, إِذْ دَخَلُوا عَلَيْهِ فَقَالُوا سَلَامًا قَالَ سَلَامٌ قَوْمٌ مُنْكَرُونَ. So they said salama, and then Ibrahim said salam. So in the Arabic language, if you just say salam, it's understood that it's meant salam alaykum. And there's a lot of things in the Arabic language, a lot of sentences that you need to understand the hidden behind it. Just like in English, when you say like what's up, it doesn't mean anything. But when you understand what it's meant, as in what's up, new, what is going on, that's new in your life, that's what it's meant. But you understand through context, the same in Arabic. So just say salam when you see people. Learn Arabic sentence by sentence. See you on the next one.
That is a controversial one.
Yeah, literally. Sometimes we get emails like that where people say, Akhi, give me salams like the Muslims. Say salamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Say salam is permissible too. How many times in the Quran the Anbiya say salam?
Do the distance one.
This one we're going to make it shorter. We have seen as well that when we talk about certain Islamic concepts now, learn Arabic sentence by sentence. See, here I am with my brother Faisal.
Assalamu alaikum.
Sahib, alaikum salam. Sahib, freshly grounded. We just recorded an episode and I haven't seen him for a long time. So what would I say in this situation? In the Arabic language, we say, طال الوقت بيننا. You see someone, you say, oh, subhanAllah, man, it's been a long time. How do you say this? It's been a long time in the Arabic language. طال الوقت بيننا. Which literally translates to, طال, it's been long, or it became long. الوقت, time, بيننا, in between us. The time has been long in between us. As in, I haven't seen you in a long time. Learn Arabic sentence by sentence. See you on the next one.
Alhamdulillah.